أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم سيدنا مولانا محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين، وبعد. So I'll continue with our discussion of Yaqeen and Iman. If you look at the five first verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the second surah, the longest chapter in the Quran, it sort of announces the program of the entire Quran. Those first five ayahs contains the sort of introduces the whole program of Quran. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. So within these first five ayahs, the entire subject matter of the Quran is introduced. Alam read.
This is the scripture in which there is no doubt, containing guidance for those who are mindful of God, who believe in the answer to keep up their prayers and give out of what we have provided for them. Those who believe in the revelation sent down to you and in what was sent before you, those who have full faith in the hereafter. Such people are following their Lord's guidance, and it is they who will be prosperous.
Hello.
This is a scripture whereof there is no doubt, but guidance unto those who ward off evil, who believe in the unseen and establish worship, and spend of that we have bestowed upon them, and who believe in that which is revealed of revealed, and that which was revealed before you, and are certain of their hereafter. These depend on guidance from their Lord. These are indeed successful.
Pleasure. Okay. So the two major programs that I mentioned in this ayah, anyone you can have any suggestion? And those five ayahs, it captures the entire subject matter of the Quran. What will be those two? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So that comes down to us. You know someone you put it if you know you reduce that down to what? Mm-hmm. Ilm, that's it. Ilm of what? But if you say ilm, you have to qualify ilm too. I think we should know that by now. You can't just say ilm. What kind of ilm? Mm. She said ilm has many types of knowledge. What kind of knowledge you talking about? Hmm? Okay. Um, okay. Okay. Specifically, there's no mention of ilm here in this verse. In this verse, okay. There's iman. That's good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, iman is all be. Well, that's still if I, just looking here, just in this verse, without going anywhere else. What stands out as the topic? Mm-hmm. 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 So we have specified one thing, which is iman, isn't it? Okay, let's leave that. That's correct. That's one. What else? So يؤمنون بالغيب. So iman bil ghaib. That's one of the major subject matter of Quran. To believe in what they call unseen or the unwitnessed or the future, what is to come. That's what's ghaib, which is what is to come. Hasn't come yet. It's not seen, at least. So what else? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, guidance has is a kind of a secondary. It's an effect. It's not a cause. Okay, because you are guided through your iman. So guidance itself is not a cause. Iman is the cause. That the Bible says, "Yahdihim Rabbuhum bi imanihim." Their Lord guide them through their iman. So your iman guides you. Not only iman, there are other ways of guiding you. But guidance itself is not a fundamental cause. So I want the fundamental. We're talking about the fundamental subject matter. Quran discuss lots of things, but if you bring it all down to few major causes of, of fundamentals. So one identified as iman. Okay, that's one. What's the other thing? Just yaqeen. Those two. Yaqeen. So these are the two fundamental programs that Quran discusses over and over again. Iman and yaqeen. Exactly. So he said, La rayba fihi. Exactly. No doubt means what? So what's the one word for no doubt? Certitude. Okay, that's why. So first thing he mentioned yaqeen at the beginning and at the end too. So that's the no doubt means having certitude. Okay, those are still if not causes, because your iman motivates you to spend because you believe in the unseen, you believe in the hidden reward of Allah, you believe that Allah, if you give, that Allah is going to give back to you in manyfold. So those are spending. They are all causes. They are all those actions. So a belief has to be the basis of spending, and as well as prayer also. You have to have iman to pray, or if you don't have iman, you pray. Your prayer still doesn't mean anything. Okay, so that's what it is. So hence, prayer, zakat, and all these are effects. The primary cause is iman and yaqeen. These are the two things that if you have, it motivates you to act in that way. So, certitude, we will see how belief or faith. So the two major programs. So hence Baqarah begins right with this topic. لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. There's no doubt in this book. Doubt. So the first thing is to attain yaqeen. We discussed yaqeen in the last few classes. The yaqeen also has levels and the impact of each level of yaqeen. And we discussed iman to have the same 3 levels and the impact of each level and on the soul and the heart of a human being. So in other words, this Quran will only guide you if you have 2 things. Either you have iman or you have yaqeen. Then it can guide you to where you need to go. If you lack those fundamentals, then it cannot guide you. So hudan lil muttaqin is a guidance for those who have taqwa, which includes both iman and yaqeen. So taqwa is a common name. Mean the unseen, something that you don't see, something that we don't see. To believe without seeing, that's called iman bil ghayb. If you see, it's not called iman anymore. that is how it is. So yu'minuna bil ghaybi wa yuqimuna as-salata وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. So that iman includes iman in ghaib in general, any ghaib. To believe in the ghaib, to believe in the unseen, that includes the angels, believe in the Prophet, believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believe in Allah's promise, believe in the last day, believe in Jannah, because all these, and Jahannam, all these are hidden from our part of ghaib. So some of them he mentioned textually. So believe in that which was revealed before us. So that means believe in the books Allah has revealed, Tawrat and Injil and Zabur. They are all part of the unseen. Yeah. No. Believe in that. Yes. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Marhaban bik. Hayyakum Allah. Hayyakum Allah. Hayyakum Allah. So those who do that, ala hudan min rabbihim, Those are the people who are on a guidance from Allah. Allah will guide them through their Iman to their ultimate destination, be it Jannah, be it Ridwan, be it the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All those are the three destinations. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ, and those people are the ones who are successful. So Iman and Yaqeen, hence, should be the main subject of our discussions from now on. This evidence depends on those two. If you have both of them, alhamdulillah. If you have either Yaqeen or Iman, it also is good enough. It will take you to where you need to go. If you have none of them, then the Quran in no way can guide you, because you lack the basic requirements of what is called guidance. So why these two are important? Because they relate to the creation of the human soul itself, the nafs. That's why. Nafs. Yeah. That is it. خير إن شاء الله. تفضل. إن شاء الله. So why these two are the fundamental topics of Quran, is because they deal directly with the creation of the nafs. Yeah, which is nafs is part of the inner creation. So coming back to creation, that we divide the creation into two: the outer creation and the inner creation. And furthermore, we divide the inner creation to what? Furthermore, we divide the inner creation to what? So creation generally is divided into outer creation. The Quran talks about that. يَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ عَنِ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. So the outer creation and the inner creation. The outer creation means the creation that is we see outwardly here, whatever is outward. The inner creation is the creation which is not visible to us. So the nafs is part of the inner creation, because the nafs is there, we don't see it, but it's with us. We see only our body. Our nafs, we don't see it. So because it's part of the inner creation. But the inner creation too is divided into two. What are those two? Huh? Yeah. Those concepts, you have to know that for sure. Otherwise, a lot of things will elude in the Quran. So creation divided into two, inner and outer. Called outer creation, which is sometimes called al-mulk. Al-mulk or al-khalq al-zahir. And inner creation, which is called al-malakut. So both words are in the Quran. له ملك السماوات والأرض بيده ملكوت كل شيء. So malakut is the inner creation. Whatever is in the inner creation is all included in under one name, which is called malakut. Malakut. find the word many places in the Quran. Mulk. So the soul characteristically belongs to the Malakut. So the end of Yasin, Subhanalladhi biyadihi malakutu kulli shay. Glory be unto the one in whose hand is the inner creation of everything, meaning what? The soul of everything. Soul of everything. So Sayyidina Ibrahim, when Allah says, وَكَذَلِكَ نُرِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ مَلَكُوتَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. That's how we show Ibrahim the inner creation of the heavens and the earth, so that he may become one with certitude later on. So the inner creation, the other creation, it's nothing compared to the inner creation naturally. So your nafs belongs to the inner creation, and that inner creation is divided into two also. I think somebody answered that, called the past or the first creation and the last creation. The old or the new. Sometimes the word new is used by Quran, sometimes the word last. New and last are the same, and past and old are the same, or first and old. So inner creation, further divided old, last or new. In Arabic, Quran says Al-Khalq al-Awwal, the first creation. Another one said Khalqin Jadid, the new creation. أفعينا بالخلق الأول بسورة قاف بل هم في لبس من خلق جديد. قاف قاف QAF قاف. Verse 15 of Qaf said أفأينا بالخلق الأول بل هم في لبس من خلق جديد. أفعينا بالخلق الأول بل هم في لبس من خلق جديد. ألم
While he is capable of the first creation, no indeed, yet they doubt and speculate. Will be then worn out by the first creation, yet they are in doubt about the new creation.
You can see that clearly. First and second, or old and new, or past and future. If you go to Ankabut, and verse 20, قل سيروا في الأرض فانظروا كيف بدأ الخلق ثم الله ينشئ النشأة الآخرة إن الله على كل شيء قدير. ألم
travel throughout the earth and see how he brings life into being. He will bring the next life into being. God is power over all things.
ألم
Say, travel in the land and see how he originated creation. And Allah bringing forth the leader growth. Lo, Allah is able to do all things.
ماشي. So here is a travel. See the word in the earth, and see how creation began. I didn't use the word on the earth because that on is out, is the outer creation. It's talking about the travel in the inner creation. Travel in the earth, inside, which constitute the malakut of the earth. Malakut as-samawati wal ard, the inner kingdom of the heavens and earth. Allah is telling you to travel inside. Only then you can see and find out how creation started. The first creation. If you travel in the earth, you will witness that. And once you witness that, then you will witness also how the last creation also will happen.
So here it means in the earth it's like to be through your soul.
Exactly.
Not by feet.
No. Doesn't have to be a physical journey, of course not. No. Yes. Yeah. In. That's very precise. Fi al-ard. Says travel in the earth and look in the earth. Look in and travel in. So you got to look, and the door is your soul. Not necessarily, but not necessarily. Yeah. It has a bigger application than just that. Well, I'm going to come to that, inshallah. So once you are able to travel in, then you will see how the first creation was and how the last creation will be. So now you've determined that creation in and outer and inner is first and last. So of the two forms of creation, which one the yaqeen is concerned, or which one, seeing which of them gives you yaqeen? Now we're talking about Yaqeen and Iman as related to the creation of the soul. Was creation what? Does what? What does it do for you? Was creation? Question was which of the two, when you witness or when you see, gives you yaqeen, Yaqeen. Okay. Yes. The first creation to Yaqeen is situated here. That means if you travel in the earth until you witness the first creation, is the time that you attain Yaqeen. Traveling to first before last. Once you enter into the Malakut, you travel first to the beginning. Should be. Everything is to start from the beginning, your journey. So your journey in the Malakut begins in Ibrahim. When he went inside, so he went first to the beginning. Exactly. So we're going to come to example. I'm just bringing it down to that. So when we talk about Yaqeen, first creation, we talk about what? Creation of what? So when you talk about first creation, what does it mean? Exactly. So creation of death. خلق الموت والحياة. Allah created death and life. So hence the word yaqeen also means that in the Quran. Huh? Same thing. وَعَبُدَ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينُ. Worship Allah until death comes to you. So Allah created the first creation, the beginning of creation was the creation of death. And Allah created us in that way first before He created us in the life form. So our souls were created first out of that. So we call it the first creation. So far we're not talking about, we haven't discussed the ruh yet. We're talking about the nafs. All is the nafs. And that's the most important part in that sense. Because you have to fix the nafs first before you speak about the ruh. So the human soul is created two times. First time Allah created the soul out of death. He created death first, and then our soul was created out of death. That's called the first creation. And then after that He created our soul in another form again, which is the life form. So our soul contains both of them. ثم يحييكم. Voila. The Quran is systematic. So he said, how can you disbelieve in Allah when you were dead and He brought to life and He brings you back to death and then brings you back to life and then you return back to Him. So the first dead at the beginning and the first creation. So that's why the Quran begins with the topic of Yaqeen. La rayba fi. La rayba fi, this book has no doubt in it. It talks about the beginning. So only if you go all the way to the beginning, then you attain Yaqeen. So that's the first creation. And the last creation, which is the creation of life. Surah Al-Mulk, verse 2. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. ألم
Who created death, who created life, to test you and reveal which of you perform the same. He is the mighty, he is
is that so?
which one?
Two.
Who has created life and death, that he may try you, which of you is best in conduct, and he is the mighty, the forgiver.
So you see, we're coming back to the creation of the soul out of life and death. You see, Allah talks about that He created life, death first, always death is first, as you can see, al-mawta, and life as a test to see who will attain ihsan. How can we explain this ayah in the light of what we just discussed? If I tell you to explain me this ayah now, why does that have to do with ihsan? Why having creation of death and life has to do with ihsan? It's a simple question, but it's difficult to answer, even for those who read the Quran every day, and they pass it every day. No? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Exactly. It's talking about the relationship between yaqeen, attaining yaqeen, which is first be able to enter into the malakut, because if you remain on this surface here, your life, you are not living neither that, so you are just in between. It's a very unfulfilling life, the outward life. It's a kind of it's a mutational life. It's neither, it doesn't bring you what the fulfillment of that, if there is a fulfillment, doesn't bring you the growth and the optimism of life. So you are neither here. So consequently, when you are in between death and life, the symptoms are doubt, anxiety, always anxious, because anxiety is a sign of lack of iman. You may have iman, but your iman is not a true iman. That's what we mean. Even outwardly, people have iman, but it's not strong enough to dispel all their anxieties and their worries and concerns. Only once somebody has gone into the malakut and have been able to go back to the beginning and go to the ending and see them, then that's the time that all his fears disappear absolutely, and all his doubts disappear, grief disappear absolutely. And from there ihsan begins. So once your soul is free from all these symptoms, then your ibadah now, if you engage in your worship now, then it's ihsan. So hence Prophet ﷺ described ihsan as to worship Allah as though you see Him. If your heart is beset with all this, how can you see anything? You can't. You worship Allah as though you see Him. But you worship Allah from the point of view of yaqeen. So that's the higher level. If your ibadah is based on yaqeen, It will be as though when you are doing your ibadah, you see Allah. If your ibadah is the other level, which is Iman, then you worship Allah as though He sees you. So the first one naturally is more powerful. It is you who see Allah instead of knowing that He sees you. But none of this is possible. No way of to ihsan unless your heart is at peace. That's the so overall, the fact that going to the first creation gives you yaqeen, in the sense that you yourself, your soul goes back to the beginning. So now we are talking about your own journey. This journey is within your own soul. So your soul goes back to the first time it was created, at which point your soul had yaqeen. Because you came here and lost it. So you go back again, yaqeen comes back to you, your soul. It regains its primal condition, primal state. Then, in that state, it's as though your soul have died again, in the good sense of that, meaning disappearance of any kind of doubt or worry from your heart. A dead person doesn't have, do they have worries or concerns? No. and most important, a dead person has no will. Doesn't move his own hand because he has lost complete will. But you can move him. So once you come here, you became like a dead person with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You let Allah move you. He sits you down, He lays you down, He moves you forward, He moves you back. You have no part in it. It's Allah who is doing the whole job. And you are just the expression of the will of Allah. That's what we mean by that. By coming to the first creation and attaining yaqeen and dying again, your soul. So that is exemplified by the state of the Ahl Kahf, the youth in the cave, and how they were turned. That's what Allah is describing to us, that story. If you have attained yaqeen, you become like you are like them. Allah will turn you and face you to the light whenever the light is in the east or is in the west. You have no part in that. And will preserve you too. Even though they were sleeping, they are preserved. 300 years, their body did not decay. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true. That's the most important part. Because all this will not mean much for you unless you go. You are able to go inside. If you remain outside, then it's just a theory for you. And it remains as such. Yes, what happened to the youth of the cave? Probably once you know that, what did they do? How did they get to this stage? That's what we need to know. And you do as they did, and you will be as they were. How did they return back to that state? If you go back to Kahf, then inshallah, let's see what Allah says about them. That will enlighten us also and inspire us to do the same thing. Okay. Okay, let's leave there. Sorry, maybe we'll have, because it's long, we'll have one person read it. Adam, read from 9 to 10. Yeah.
Do you find the companions in the case of al-Laqim so wondrous among all our other signs? When the young man sought refuge in the cave and said, "O Lord, grant us your mercy and find us a good way out of our problem."
Okay. So that's number one. You should note that. Mm. And they went to the cave. They sought refuge in Allah. And they prayed. Dua, salam, something. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا. That's a sample. It can be another dua. من أمرنا رشدا. That is, he's seeking that. You have to ask Allah and constantly ask Him sincerely. If you ask anything from your heart, Allah will give it to you. And in order to act sincerely for something, you must feel the need for it. If you ask something that you don't need, it doesn't become, it's not a sincere. You don't sincere in asking because you don't need it. If you need it really, you'll ask sincerely. If you ask sincerely, you'll get it. So they felt a pressing need. They felt the darkness around them. They felt that they need to escape this darkness. They need to escape this tyranny that's around them. So they have a pressing need for Allah's help. And out of that, through belief in Allah's mercy, ask Allah for His mercy. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. And they made an effort. Right? They prayed and they also made an effort. That's also another sign of that you truly, genuinely want what you are asking for. You seek it. So as they want to flee from this darkness, they also left their town or their city in search of a light, in search of somebody who can guide them to the light, who can guide them to the path that leads to Allah. So إِذْ أَوَى الْفِتْيَةُ إِذَا الْكَهْفِ. And when they left, sincerely searching, Allah led them to a cave where there is somebody who will be able to guide them. So that's a subliminal message of the ayah. They didn't go to the cave just for the sake of the cave. Just,
But I think if you look at it also, it's going to also be in not philosophical way, but just looking at it as our actual life.
yes.
That we are kind of in a cave,
Mm-hmm.
even with living, because when you ask,
Mm-hmm.
when you pray and you ask, it's like you're putting yourself where just the other temptations don't basically end up you're putting these temptations that way you're asking for forgiveness, you're asking guidance for guidance.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it's like putting yourself in the cave. You're still moving, but like
No, as we said, that you don't have to die to achieve that. We are talking about that you have sincerely to seek, and sometimes you may need to move and look for somebody. You know, and perhaps Allah will, because Allah has to guide one person to another person. It's very rare that Allah Himself will directly link with you. Primarily, somebody has to take you to a level, then you link with Allah directly. Usually, it's like that. So, Prophet ﷺ said something in Mecca when he felt Mecca was becoming intolerable, the life there, the corruption, the moral destitution of every kind was rampant in Mecca. So his soul could not take it anymore. That's why he used to go to Ghar Hira, the cave of Hira. The cave of Hira, he used to go there to break away a little bit from this hustle and bustle and ponder on the meaning. So his soul has a true yearning for God. That yearning has to be there. And that yearning should be sort of followed by some sort of effort. So prayer and then maybe going around. So perhaps, inshallah, you will meet khair somewhere. And then in the cave, Jibril came. So the same thing, these young people, when they went to the cave, somebody came. The Murshid does. So those are the steps, Aisha, hopefully you following. So the steps that if you need to go, so a cave also is always like a door to the to the beyond. That's what a cave also symbolizes. Exactly. Exactly. It's like a door that will lead you inside to the unseen. Yeah, it's a hole in a mountain or something, or in an earth. That's right. Yeah, you can have different form, but it's like usually like a porch. Yeah. So. It dies when you die. If your soul die with Iman, yes, then they take you all the way to Allah, the angels. Otherwise, then you can't enter the first door of heaven. If your soul was not did not die with Iman, then they say Allah. Okay. Then, so they ask Allah, you see, for rahmah and guidance, rashad. The word murshid, rashad, comes from the same meaning, guide. So they actually ask Allah for guidance, and Allah dispatched a guide to them in that cave. So Allah says, the next ayah, ayah 11 and 12. So as long as you can read that for us.
Then we sealed up their hearing in the cave for a number of years, and afterward we raised that up, that we might know which of the two parties would best calculate the time that we had carried.
So in that process again, that I also describe clearly what needs to happen for somebody to be able to enter into the inner creation, the malakut. Is the hearing that has to shut down. Yeah. Even for, let's say, it could be for a fraction of a second, but at one point you cannot hear anything. It can be just a moment. And within that moment you can enter. But you stop hearing completely. Nothing from outside. That is a big condition, and that's why many people can't make it. They can't reach that state. And for to reach that state, the people have devised different ways. It can just happen, but sometimes, by some recommend that you do dhikr loudly, so that when you do it loudly, then it cuts off, all other noises from your hearing. So the schools that espouse we call loud dhikr. There are other schools who don't allow that. They want silent. So you do remember and silently, and that slowly takes you inside and closes your hearing completely. There are many other ways. You can be constantly reading Quran until you only hear Quran. Even if you are sleeping, you are awake, you don't hear other sound. That also can happen. You don't, even people are speaking, you only hear Quran, although they are only speaking Quran around you. So, but it has to be some sort of practice that is diligent and constant until to a point that it become you are sleeping, you are doing it, you are awake, just keeps on going until it cuts you off completely from all noises. The moment that happens, then your soul becomes completely still. In that stillness, your soul enters into the inner creation. There can be enemy, but that has to happen. That's what it says. Also, Allah sealed their ears completely, their hearing. They can't hear anything, and that's why they were in that state. So once Allah sealed your hearing and you enter, then He will open it again, and you can come out. But it's okay. You have already entered. So now the inner remains with you, even though you come back. You see it first before you see the outer in anything. So that is also a very important aspect of this training to attain that level. So as Allah put them, close their hearing so that they can sleep. So that they can sleep outwardly, okay, not inwardly. Your body sleep, but not your soul and your heart. When you say sleeping in the ayah, they were sleeping that long time, but only outwardly. The body was sleeping this long, but not their soul and their heart. That's not sleeping. So the hadith that Aisha mentioned, it's in the Sahih, that one day after Prophet ﷺ did the night prayer, he reclined for some time, and then when he had the adhan of Fajr, then he got up and then prayed 2 rakah, and then she said to him, but didn't you sleep? You didn't renew your wudu. Rasulullah said, no. تنام عيني ولا ينام قلبي. My eyes sleep but my heart doesn't sleep. وكذلك الأنبياء, and thus are all the prophets. Their eyes sleep but not their hearts, and of course their souls. So the sleeping of the outer sleeping, not the inner sleeping. But the contrary happens. For most people, they are sleeping inside. Inwardly they are sleeping, and outwardly they are awake. They're smart they see very clearly outwardly, but inwardly they are sleeping. Hence the saying of people are sleeping, if they die they wake up. So that's what they mean. They are sleeping inwardly. Well, when you die, then you wake up inwardly now, and of course you have to sleep outwardly as you die. So now you need to wake up now inwardly and sleep outwardly. But that always sleeping doesn't mean that you don't do anything. You don't live a normal life. You live a normal life. As he says here, you think that they are awake, but they are sleeping. And that's the good thing in verse, verse 18. وتحسبهم أيقاظا وهم رقود ونقلبهم ذات اليمين وذات الشمال وكلبهم باسط بالوسيد. I shall read that ayah. So you see, it says you think that they are awake. When you look at them, you don't think they are sleeping. So they are just, they look normal. Like somebody who is. So a person can attain the level that he is going in and out, and no, but he is asleep outwardly. Just Allah is moving him around. So تحسبهم أيقاظا وهم رقود. You think that they are awake, but they are asleep. Exactly. So it means that now they don't even move for them by their own will. When exactly, Allah moves them. No. Same thing. No. Allah turns him when he needs to turn. They have no will at this point. Exactly, the person who is at this stage also becomes like that. He does not do anything except by the will of God. So if the will is from God and the action came through you, so we don't consider you the actor, we consider God the actor, because one who gives the order or the will is one who is really the actor. So Allah said to Prophet, when you threw, he did not throw, Allah threw. Because he was moved by the will of God or by his own will. So that's the state. So the babies are in that state, and Allah moved them, especially the babies. They are in tune with the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun. Yeah. If you hear the if you hear the when they do the what they call it, they check the baby's pulse, and you hear that noise. Exactly. You hear that. Exactly. That rhythm is what the malakut is like. You know, the noise is made. It's kind of a watery sound. You know, it's the same thing. It's very amazing. The first thing I heard it, when I hear that, it's very amazing. Exactly. It reminds you about the malakut. Exactly. Baby in the womb. Because the womb is part of the malakut too. In a creation, yes. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's very amazing, the creation of the human being. It's amazing. When you hear the ultrasound, it's amazing. It reminds you directly. about the echoes of the ghaib of the malakut. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes, yes, sister. Exactly. Yeah, I think you never read that part in the Quran, even though you read it a million times. That's how it is. You just, yeah, exactly. Okay. So we discuss about the closing of the hearing, mm, so that the person can sleep outwardly and awaken inwardly. And that inner awakening, that's the journey to the beginning and to the first creation and the second creation, the last creation. Verse 13 and 14. Alam.
We shall tell you their story as they clearly was. They were young men who believed in their Lord, and we gave them more and more guidance. We gave strength to their hearts when they stood up and said, Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and earth. We shall never call upon any God other than He, for that would be an outrageous thing.
So here there are two things that they believe in their Lord. So Iman is a condition also. It's not the complete Iman, but at least you have to have some basis of belief in the unseen. And secondly, that they declared their faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They stood and declared, we said, we believe in Allah as Lord of the heavens and the earth. We'll call on none except Him. So they did not express their faith outward, openly. They didn't feel ashamed to do that, as some people are. So when that is part of the what you call the inner hijrah or inner migration. So inwardly they disassociate themselves from their people and their practices inwardly. But when they persecuted them, then they left. They made the outer migration. Mm. So in terms of actions, the inner begins before the outer. So first they had Iman, and they shunned the ways of their people inwardly while they continue to live with them in the same society. Yours is to you, mine is to me. Okay. So let's live together in peace. But when they persecuted them and they prevented them from even practicing their faith, then they have to move then. So that's the time that they moved into the cave, and Allah put them in that state. And that's an important word here which is used, which is called resurrection. In verse 12, ثم بعثناهم. I don't know how to read verse 12.
Then we woke them so that
We what?
we woke them
Woke them, okay.
so that we could make clear which of the two parties was better able to work out how long they had been here.
That's all. Verse 12.
And afterward we raised them up, that we might know which of the two parties was less happy in time that they had been.
Measure. The Quran is very precise in terms of language. So, so when somebody is, so they were in this state. Yeah. The word ba'ath, resurrection, is only used to the dead. So somebody who is also has attained yaqeen is in that category. If you attain yaqeen, then you are resurrected. But before I talk about that, what is the result of yaqeen too? So we go further. So once you've gone all the way back to the first creation, and you, let's say you assumed dead again, and you attain yaqeen, what do you feel in your soul and your heart? And what's one word for that? Hmm? Peace. And that levelness of the soul and the heart is peace. So yaqeen gives peace to the heart and the soul. So once the heart is in this peaceful state, then it's resurrected. What do you mean by resurrection?
Go back to the actual state so that we can sit again.
No, that's what it said now. You've attained a perfect state of being, which is the first creation. You are in your first creation now, and you feel total peace. And then at that point, you are resurrected. What happens? The moment you attain that point, something kicks in. No, we don't know that. There is a difference between revive and resurrect. Revive, the Quran makes a distinction between, they are different. Even the people think that they are one. No, they are not the same. So here, Iman. We're going to come to the side. Let's deal with this one first. So a person attains this state, and then there's the point that he is resurrected. So put it another way. So we spoke about, so these two, first creation, last creation, are on the horizontal plane, isn't it? So once any of this becomes fulfilled, if he attained to Iman truly, and he became a truly living being, then vertically something comes down. If you attain yaqeen and you become truly peaceful, then again something comes down. What is that? What is in the vertical plane? No? Yeah, it's command. That's what we call commandment. So this is creation. So what belongs to the commandment? Huh? Ruh, exactly. Spirit. So commandment, creation. First and last, which is a light. So these two are just creations, they are not properly light. Neither yaqeen nor iman. They are blissful state. You have yaqeen, you have that blissful, peaceful condition, or you have that iman, you have that condition of tranquility. Once your heart is in that state, that's the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will breathe a new spirit into you. But if you haven't attained neither this or that, then you're out of tune with your spirit, because you are here. You are neither here, so you are in between here. This limbo. So you don't see the spirit. You have no connection with the spirit. You are cut off. But the moment you come here, directly in line with the spirit, and the light dawns on the soul and it's resurrected, wakes up, enlightened. Now, it's true. Yes. Yeah, I mean, this, as he said, this death is not only one time. This becomes a cycle. As he said, you attain yaqeen. So sometimes the itinerary is from here. You come to yaqeen, you attain peace, then you move to iman, attain tranquility, then the spirit comes down. So yaqeen, iman, ruh. But sometimes it may be just from here to here. You attain yaqeen right away, spirit dawns on you. And then you come here, again, dawns on you. So twice. You are enlightened, multiple lights. For some it's only one time. You come to yaqeen, you come to iman, then the spirit comes. But for some, when they enter malakut, they don't even come here. They move straight forward. So people have different conditions, and their enlightenment, you can see where they come from. So if somebody comes inside malakut, move straight to forward. and attains Iman and tranquility, and then commandment opens for him and is enlightened. That person is called a Siddiq. Here. If the person enters Malakut, he comes all the way to the beginning, and then is inspired with the light of the Ruh. Then he's called a witness, Shaheed. If he has made all the journey, he's been here and is enlightened. He moves all the way here, a second time enlightened. Then he combined between a Shaheed and a Siddiq, both. A witness and a sincere believer. By Siddiq we mean somebody whose Iman is written and confirmed, and he can never go back. If somebody can have Iman, he may fall off, as you know, as you can see that. Once he becomes a Siddiq, there's no way he will ever go back and fall into disbelief anymore. So hence the 10 people that Rasulullah told them that you will enter Jannah, guaranteed them Jannah, because he knows that they are Siddiqs and that they will never ever go back, disbelieve anymore. So he gave them Bishar of Jannah, guaranteed, as a Siddiq. So different enlightenment has different channels. But the first condition is, of course, you have to enter. So once you enter, then the way you move. If you enter and you move back to the beginning, here, attain Yaqeen. If the door of commandment is open, the light comes down on you, here, then it's Shaheed. You become a witness. So Ruh plus Yaqeen, Shaheed. Maybe you may have, once you attain Yaqeen, then you move here, you come to Iman. And then again the light comes. And this can become a cycle for you too. That means it becomes one time a month. Yeah. Maybe every 2 weeks you can go through a cycle. But sometimes only one time in life, and that's good enough. You can go through that once in a lifetime. If he comes more frequently, naturally it's better, because each time it's an increase. So that's why Quran came in pieces, because of that. Each comes down in a cycle. The Prophet ﷺ goes through a cycle, and a revelation comes. Then another cycle again. The other books all came at once. Only one time. Quran came in many installments. So it's a cycle. So once you finish the cycle, again, there is a pause, there is a break. And slowly you have to start again to go back. Taslim. This is all here also. So you say peace, salam, taslim.